Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome into a special edition of the Nittany Lion Sports Report. Bob Long here, and my special guest, you see his name behind me, you see him on the screen here, Ryan Wills, a senior at LaSalle College High School in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He has accepted an offer as a preferred run-on to the Penn State Nittany Lions football team. Ryan, welcome to the show. Congratulations, first and foremost. We're so excited to have another LaSalle explorer make his way up to Penn State on the football team.
Thank you. I'm excited.
You should be. I tell you, it's a great opportunity, a big-time program, and a great opportunity to get in there and mix it up with some wonderfully talented players, obviously some great coaches. So what, if you could, what was the process like? Could you walk us through some of the different options that you considered on your way to making your decision to play at Penn State?
Yeah, so I guess for me, it was the first preferred walk-on I had was from the University of Miami. And I guess after that, a couple programs took notice for me as a preferred walk-on because that's what I wanted to do to continue my career. And Coach Steinmetz just called, Penn State, just said, Ryan Wills would love to be interested as preferred run-on. And I was super interested. I mean, it's a school that I've been looking up to and idolizing since, I was like a little kid, just because, Pennsylvania, I'm from Pennsylvania. I've just been watching them for so long. I was just super, super, super interested, super excited. And then they were also interested, so I had the preferred run on. And then ever since then, I was talking to the offensive line coach. I was talking to all the coaches. That meant a lot to me as a preferred, just like as a run on or walk on, to have all the, coaches reach out to me like that. It was just really impressed me a lot. You don't really get that from a walk on. So, that really was exciting for me. And I just knew it was home. After talking to all the coaches, obviously, it's close to home. They had the right major for me, good education, a lot of friends from LaSalle there. And it was a no-brainer for me.
I know that you spent some time up at Penn State in 2019. You went to the whiteout game with a couple of teammates, by the way, Abdul Carter and Sam Brown. What was that experience like? What led to you guys going up there in that capacity? And then what was the game like?
The experience was one to behold. It's not something everybody gets. That experience was electric. All the fans there, the atmosphere, the noise, the non-stopping noise. And there's the belief that, and, love they have for the program is something that caught my eye, Sam's eye and Abdul's eye. And obviously you're playing a big primetime game under the lights on ESPN, College Game Day. So, that was like no other experience I've ever had in my entire life. That was awesome. And I guess what just had it leading up there was, I guess Coach Steinmetz pulled some strings, and I guess the coaches were just interested. So they also invited us to a game up there. And we all decided to go to the whiteout game, and we made the right decision. That was awesome to be a part of. That was really, really cool.
I know that it's one of those things where, especially on a whiteout, the stands in a college football game are naturally a bit more crowded because you have 85 plus guys on the roster versus a 53-man NFL roster. And then there are some important folks that find themselves on the sideline. And then there are recruits. And on a whiteout in particular, it's unbelievable how many guys just like yourself that they get there on the sidelines. And I find that process very interesting as to, okay, how are you one of those guys on the sidelines? And clearly they thought enough of the three of you guys, and why not, right? Because you guys have a great team at LaSalle, and you guys have been three leaders for a long time.
It's definitely intimidating, but at the same time, it's like I'm being honored, be with these high level recruits. It's knowing that that one day I can work with these guys, work out with them. I could be in a locker room with them, these high level recruits that can make me better. I can make them better. One day it's going to be my friends, just my brothers. Sometimes you're going to see some 6'7", 300-pound kid who's going to be in the NFL one day. But to be honest, it was super, super cool just to be around those guys and see them in person. Seeing talent like that is, you don't really get to see it every day. We see Abdul and Sam, but we were seeing, 50 of them on the sidelines. That was really, really awesome. And you even get to meet some of them. All of them are really cool kids. And even if they don't go to Penn State, they're going to be competing against some of the best on the field or off the field and in a game. So, that was awesome.
Ryan, I want to talk about that run-on process. So run-on, a term that was that came about during the Bill O'Brien era at Penn State, and has continued to this day. So you mentioned that you were considering multiple run-on or walk-on offers, Miami, West Virginia, and I think you mentioned Florida State as well. What you said that was pretty early on a focus for you versus maybe a scholarship offer to a group of five school. What made that decision for you early on to pursue that angle in particular?
Yeah, so I want to be a walk on like a Power Five school because the way I looked at it is if I'm going to take a risk on anything, I'm going to put everything in the house of cards with myself. I'm going to risk everything on myself, and I would take that bet 100 times out of 100. And I just wanted to play the best football that I thought I could possibly do. And I think that at Penn State, I think I can. I mean, I think I can earn my way. I can work my hardest. Um, Obviously, I mean, there's a ton of inspiration, motivation coming from like a bunch of LaSalle guys who have done it before. And I'm just really pumped. I mean, it was just something that, you don't really get that opportunity a lot. And I knew this is an opportunity I have to take. And I wanted to bet on myself. And it's really easy when you have coaching from LaSalle and, you're getting better from elite talent from LaSalle every single day. So, I mean, I think I'm definitely prepared. I'm just, excited just to get there.
It's coming from a rival, of course, but there is a fellow former explorer that took a very similar
Mm-hmm.
route to you. That's Jimmy Morrissey, who had offers from FCS and Group of Five schools, decided to, like you said, make the bet on himself. I can play at this level, he said. Goes to Pitt, walks on, and just won the Burlsworth Award, which is the top former walk-on in college football. Do you know Jimmy at all, or even if not, was that a source of of inspiration or goal orientation for you?
I've never met Jimmy, but I mean, I know how much of a hard work he is, obviously, and how much of a great captain was at LaSalle, how much of a great player was at LaSalle. I mean, that is definitely like a huge figure for me just to look up to every time. Like, I hope I get into contact with him sometime because I mean, we're going down similar routes. I know he went to Pitt, I went to Penn State, so I mean, it's going to be a little tough there. But I mean, yeah, I mean, he's definitely a huge figure to look up to. I mean, his work ethic, what he's done for LaSalle. I mean, he's going to, be a great player in the NFL, whatever he does. I mean, he's going to probably get drafted. So, I mean, the route that he took, I mean, it's very similar, and he's worked for every single thing he's gotten. So, I mean, he deserves everything he's getting. And that's definitely, I mean, when I was talking to Coach Steinmetz, I mean, being a walk-on is nothing that you can be ashamed of. I mean, multiple LaSalle guys have done it before, have had a lot of success on it. And obviously, Jimmy's one of those guys. And definitely drawing inspiration from that. I mean, it's definitely, something that I can imagine myself doing, and I hope to someday.
Yeah, let's talk about your game because I've had the pleasure to broadcast you over your years at LaSalle and the rest of your teammates there. But Ryan, you've been an anchor on that offensive line for the past 3 years in terms of like being the key cog or one of them on that offensive line. What was your time at LaSalle like? And what was it like being thrust into a leadership role so early into your high school football career?
Yeah, I mean, playing for the offensive line under Coach Myers was an experience, again, that not many people get. I mean, he's an unbelievable guy, knows so much about the game of football. Really, I mean, hardworking dude, worked his way to the NFL. And you're learning from the best of the best. I mean, 3-time, 2-time Pro Bowler, 10-time NFL vet. I mean, you're learning a lot of stuff that not every high school football lineman gets. And being thrust in the leadership role, honestly, was pretty easy because I had guys that I looked up to a lot, whether it was when I was a sophomore, looking up to upperclassmen, or whether I was a senior looking up to underclassmen. I mean, as a sophomore, I was looking up to guys like Dylan Traynor, Ryan Savage, Brendan Frusco, Luke Hardy, Sean Daly, like a bunch of guys that, taught me a lot of lessons to work hard. And even my junior year, even paying attention to Ryan Savage and Dylan Traynor. So, I mean, it was really easy. You're looking at guys who are great leaders, great football players. You're going against them every single day, learning a lot from them. I mean, it wasn't hard, to be honest, because you're just learning from so many people. And even Coach Steinmetz, I mean, the way he led the team and all my 3 years was really something to behold.
Certainly some great football teams, some great players, like you said. How do you feel in particular you became from what was a standout sophomore to an all Catholic type and anchor on that offensive line. How do you think you got better as a football player throughout your high school career?
So I thought my sophomore year, I mean, I was definitely a solid player than my junior year. I got a lot bigger, got a lot stronger, but I thought I was a little bit slow on my junior film tape. And then, Coach Ben Corney from the wrestling team just like recruited me. I was in his Spanish class my junior year. So I mean, he was harping on me every single day to join the wrestling team. And I finally just gave in, and it was the best thing that I think I could have done. Made me so much more athletic, made me a lot faster. My foot speed was so much better, made me more athletic. As a lineman, made my hands so much better. All in all, made me like more better athlete, more tenacity, a lot tougher kid. I mean, that's probably the best thing I've ever done. That like boosted my play as an offensive lineman so much better. And I mean, just working in the weight room in LaSalle, Coach Joe Leitner has a great all-season lifting program. Makes you so much bigger, so much stronger, a lot faster. Just a lot of pieces and a lot of just great people to be around with to get yourself and develop a lot better. It was just, I mean, leaning on the coaches and the men at LaSalle, I mean, it's easy to be a great football player, great person, great athlete. So I'm definitely thankful I did wrestling because that helped like a lot. And I urge a lot of linemen to do that because, I mean, that is really good for a lineman.
Ryan Wills is with us here on Bob Long Sports. He is a recent preferred run-on at Penn State, so he's going to be joining the Nittany Lions next year in his initial freshman campaign. Now, Ryan, we talked a lot about wrestling, and we talked a lot about different skill sets. In the past couple of years, you've gone both ways on the line. So primarily an offensive lineman, but you played a lot of defensive line as well. One, do you have more fun playing either offensive or defensive line? And two, is there anything you learned playing on, say, the defensive side of the ball that allows you to adjust to opposing D linemen when you're on the offensive side?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, both sides of the ball are really fun. I mean, just to say that, tackle another guy on defense is definitely a lot of fun. I mean, but offense, I mean, I feel like as an offensive lineman, like it's very technique. It's a lot of fundamental. I mean, it requires a lot of football IQ to go into every play. Got to read the defense, read this and read that. So, I mean, I always love to do that, articulate the defense, like what's their next move. But, I mean, as a defensive lineman, I would say, yeah, it helps a lot for an offensive lineman just to, like, see what tendencies they're going to do, see what rips or, what moves they're going to do on the as a defensive lineman, as a pass rush, or even a run play. I mean, because when you watch yourself on film, you can see, like, what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong. And as an offensive lineman, you can see, how to stop like some moves they're doing on a run play, like how their stance is going to be on a pass rush, 3rd and long, 1st and 10, like what they're going to do. So I mean, definitely translates a lot for sure.
Yes, and from a standpoint of that, going to the next level, you're going to head up to Penn State. You mentioned Coach Myers on the line side for your time at LaSalle. Phil Troutline, a newer line coach at Penn State. Have you had the opportunity? I know you said you've spoken with him at times in the time since your commitment or even just before. What are the types of conversations you were having with Coach?
No, I mean, types of conversations I have, I mean, sometimes there's everyday life. He wrestled high school too, so we got to talk about, wrestling. I mean, some football stuff too. And just honestly, it was like the kind of the, day-to-day basics of life, just like how, like what kind of people we are. And what stood out to me is that he also played football at Florida with Tim Tebow, won a national championship, and then he had some years in the league. So I mean, this is a guy who knows football inside and out. He knows what it takes as a college lineman. I mean, he can develop me and knows a lot about football. So I mean, that's always great. That's always, really good stuff. I mean, I thought we just established a great connection. I thought that I had a lot of common with him, and he just honestly seemed like a great dude to me. And I'm just excited just to be around him and learn football, as much football as I can from him the next 4 or 5 years.
That's really exciting. Another LaSalle guy that I have to bring up is Winston Eubanks.
Mm-hmm.
So he would have been right around the same time as Jimmy Morrissey. Played 3 years at Shippensburg, had this year canceled because of COVID. And he is going to join Penn State as a graduate transfer at wide receiver. So you'll have to keep an eye out, of course, for Winston when he gets up there. Have you met Winston, or have you had an opportunity to catch up with him at all?
I have not, no.
Yeah, well, he's a great guy. He actually joined us a couple weeks ago, and we're really excited about him and about
Mm-hmm.
you going up there to Penn State. It's not every
Yeah.
day that a LaSalle Explorer is working with Penn State and is playing on the team. So we're excited for you. Anything in particular that that we missed that you're very excited about or would like to mention here before we get you out of here?
No, I mean, I think you nailed everything on the coffin.
Well, again, Ryan, so excited to have you, obviously, as part of the LaSalle family and now the Penn State family, too. We'll be cheering for you here on the Nittany Lion Sports Report, and make sure to come back and visit us at LaSalle as well.
I will. Thank you so much.
All right, Ryan. Have a great rest of your day. And to our Penn State faithful, thanks for watching. Get to know this guy, Ryan Wills, on his way up to Penn State next year.
Thank you so much.